Hello, Tuhan Holloway with Albo Kali Salat. I've had a few questions about power generation and a few discussions with various martial artists and people concerned with self-defense. It seems that a lot of people are thinking that you have to generate power through the hips, and as boxers will tell you and a lot of other martial artists will tell you, you can generate power through the hips. There's also some power through the shoulders, and you'll see people move and move their body when they generate power. And this is correct, but it's not the only way to generate power. There's multiple ways to do that, and in close quarters, very extreme close quarters, and sometimes in a knife environment where you're in very close and you have to move very, very quickly, sometimes the hip turning is a bit too slow. And if you need to generate a power into a strike to disable this person's arm who's moving towards you with a knife, turning your hip sometimes is slow enough that you get cut pretty badly rather than stop the knife. So what we're looking at here is some ways to demonstrate ways to develop power. So what we have over here is I have a 120-pound heavy bag. And this heavy bag is hanging from a bag stand. And we're going to hit it in a few different ways. I'm going to hit it from a few different ways. I'm going to show you different ways to develop power that we do, and I'm going to explain the body mechanics behind it. Because there's nothing mystical about this. This is all structure, body mechanics, and proper use of your musculature and movement. And you can develop some significant hitting power from very, very close ranges. All right, 120-pound heavy bag. Now, as any boxer will tell you, you can work on this. You hit it. A nice boxer with a good hip rotation and a nice snapping hook can have this thing moving back and forth. But sometimes in tight, if you're very tight, almost in a grappling situation, now a knife's been involved, you're sitting here trying to deflect that knife and keep it off of you at all costs because flesh checks steel once and pieces fall off and you end up working it, they call you flipper, no fingers. So we don't like that. So what we're looking at here is I'm in close, and this is something somebody had asked me about, was very close range developing power. And I'm going to slap this. Now what we're going to do here is, if you look at this, from this, I'm right on here. Now I'm actually literally on this. And I'm going to go over here so you can see where I'm at on this. I'm touching it. Now I'm off to the side. This is over here. So this is literally about 4 inches away. So we're going to raise it up here. We're about 4 inches away from this thing. Now I'm touching it. I'm 4 inches. First thing we're going to show is what's called whip. I'm not going to move my hips. My hips are not going to turn. I'm not going to be doing this type motion. I'm not going to be doing footwork, which also helps you get power. What I'm going to do is just whip. And what's going to happen here, this is how I've shown some of my three-dimensional cutting methodology. I'm going to relax here. I'm going to the way I'm going to get power out of this is I'm going to let these joints rotate freely. It's three-dimensional rotation. I'm going to start from the shoulder's going to rotate. This elbow is going to let it rotate through. And that gives me more distance to accelerate this hand. Rather than coming out to here and going here like this, what I'm doing is I'm coming from here and I'm letting this rotation rotate through, creating more distance for me to get that hand moving so I get more momentum, I get more force because I've got more speed on that, I've got more time to accelerate it. So, long explanation for basically a simple motion, but you have to be relaxed here. So I'm in here, we're grappling, I'm in here, deflect the knife, and I'm right here on the guy. I don't have time to turn the hips. I need to smack him upside the head, get him to move a little bit, change his body structure so he's slightly off balance, so he's thinking about his balance instead of cutting me. Because that's a big thing in a knife environment, knife in close. You don't want to get cut. So here we go. We're here, and what I'm going to do, first thing, I'm going to slap this, and when I do this, when I slap it and do the rotation, I'm going to drag it toward me, and you'll see I'll get a spin on this thing. What that'll do literally is it starts torquing the guy's spinal column, his brainstem up there. It's going to turn, and that's a pretty good thing to do. And then I'm going to hit straight through so you see the bag moving, you'll see the kind of power you generate. So I'm here, and we come from here, and the first thing I do is I'm going to drag this toward me as I come from this 4 inches away, and And you'll see, this is what I get. I get that rotation. So it's... Now, if I'm here, and I come through, just come through here, straight through, to try to show you, I normally, like I said, we'll bring it forward, but I'm going to come straight through. You'll see the bag move quite a bit more. So even though I'm 4 inches close to it, I'm doing this, and it's a rotation. 4 inches, right here. 4 fingers. See, the fingers are there, and I'm just going to rotate with my little fingers. There it is. That's pretty close. That's less than 4 inches. And when I come in here, I'm just going. That's 120 pounds. Not incredible. Not bad. Let's try it from here with the left hand. Let's do a little bit further, because now we're in here. If I'm in this far, now I can do 6, say I'm about, oh look, about 7 inches away. Get a little bit more rotation into it. No hip turn, but rotation, and the whip. And I'm here, and it whips. That's a 120-pound heavy bag, so that's pretty decent.